Hi Aries, welcome to Spiritualista. This is your weekly energy forecast from the 29th of September until the 5th of October. If you like a personalized deep dive reading, the link to my Etsy shop is below. And now let's see what the universe has in store for you guys this week. So Aries, please tap me into Aries energy here. And let's see. Aries. Highest possible source, please, for Aries from the 29th of September until the 5th of October. Oh, that was very quick. I'm not sure if you're gonna like this, but we're gonna get into it and we're gonna get an explanation as usual. You got the devil as your present moment energy. So yeah, a little bit of, I'd say, toxicity, bad habits, sometimes addiction, sometimes just unhealthy attachments to someone, and you're being crossed by the world. This is a challenge, so it's a challenge position, but the world is a beautiful card. It's all about completion. So already right off the bat, this tells me that this might be something that you're transitioning out of. But however, since it is a challenging position, you might be experiencing a little bit of clinginess, I'd say, to those old habits where you don't really want to let go of them. And then, see, this is another evidence here because this is the Nine of Swords and that's what's on the top of your mind, and that's a card about anxiety and just like high stakes situation, tensions, being unable to sleep, nightmares. Page of Cups as your foundation, so your subconscious. This is a beautiful card. This is a very sweet, a little bit romantic card, so that's what's in your soul or at your soul level there, so that's beautiful. And then we have the King of Swords as your recent past, and let's see, your near future here is represented by the King of Wands, so double King energy for you. And the King of Wands feels to me like a very Aryan energy there. Like, is it called Aryan? It sounds bad to say that, but you know what I mean, an Aries energy. And then you have the Two of Wands there and your suggested approach or advice from the universe. And then we have your surrounding energy, so the things that are happening around you, and that is the Hanged Man right now. And then let's see, your hopes and fears, that is Judgment. And your potential future is represented this week by the Queen of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck, we do have walking away again. So likely from that double energy here, this is the Eight of Cups, represents leaving something behind that's not serving you anymore. And that's the underlying energy for the entire spread here. So beautiful. Okay, I'm really curious about this one. So we're gonna just jump straight into it and let's see the cards. All right, Aries, so let's get started with your reading. I'm feeling very excited, very excited. I feel this like, it's like a bubbly sensation. It's not like bubbly, you know, in the sense when people talk about being social, like being a bubbly girl. It's more like a fizzy, like a carbonated sort of sparkling water. Yeah, it's kind of weird to describe it. It's that energy that I'm feeling. And I don't always get physical sensations from readings. Normally when I do, it's something more negative. It's usually that I will feel very drained or very tired, like a headache or a low blood pressure or something like that, when there's something that is required from the querent itself, from the person that is receiving the reading, or for the sign itself. That's an overall energy. But I'm getting a positive one from you here. I haven't gotten this fizziness before, so we have some not so good cards, these two here. But at the same time, the overall energy I'm feeling is, yeah, it's this excitement, it's this bubbliness. So good for you. I think you're going to be having a really good week, actually. So let's just rip the band-aid. Let's talk about these, right? So we're going to start with the devil, as always, your present moment. So devil, like, it's not bad, right? It's not just like, of course, it's the devil, but at the same time, it's more about awareness, this card. So it's that moment when you realize that normally a habit that you have, or like a way of thinking, and has more power over you than you'd like, you know. And it could also be about a dynamic too, if you're in a situationship or a toxic connection with someone here. And yeah, like, it can be anything really. It could be a relationship that's pulling you into those patterns that you've likely outgrown, but it's still like kind of there, you know, or just yeah, like an old coping mechanism that you're still kind of stuck to, that's not being beneficial to you here. So it's basically the universe just holding up a mirror to you and saying that this energy doesn't own you. You know, you get to choose. You get to choose to step out of that if you want to. Otherwise, it's going to keep showing up, and then eventually it's going to turn into the Tower. And we have the Nine of Swords there, creating some anxiety. So, I mean, obviously you are already kind of reaching the rock bottom here with this energy, but you're not there yet. You still have time to step out of that before, yeah, it becomes more detrimental here. And then we have the world crossing that as a challenge. So like the world is a challenge. Wow, it makes me feel like you're on the edge of completing a really, really, really big chapter here. But fully stepping into that new cycle means releasing this, right? The thing that's been binding you here. And the endings in general, like especially ones that are tied to more long-standing patterns here, yeah, they're not so nice, to be honest. Like they can be bittersweet, but normally like it's hard, you know? So I think you're feeling a little bit tempted to go back, you know, for just one more round of this energy here. And the world is just telling you to honor your growth and just let this old story here end, you know? And then at the crown here, so the energy that's on your mind, you have the Nine of Swords, which is all about worry, right? And just lots of overthinking going on for you. Like I said, it's anxiety, it's not being able to sleep, you know, nightmares, that sort of energy. So that's what's at the top. So it's like a mental hamster wheel, sort of, that just makes everything feel worse and worse and worse, especially at nights. So a lot of this fear is kind of living in your head more than in reality, makes me feel. And the devil is reinforcing that, you know, and that some of these attachments are just self-imposed here, and you can't choose to step out of that, and then you're not going to be in this anymore. And in your foundations, you have the Page of Cups. So this is a really, really nice undercurrent to have, because deep down, you're still very open-hearted, and you're still looking for wonder, you know, and just genuine emotional connection here. So no matter what's weighed on you here, there's still this very soft part of you here, and that's very, yeah, very genuine and full of imagination, and yeah, full of dreams, you know, wants to love. So that's a really huge strength for you to have there in your soul level. And then looking back in your recent past, you have the King of Swords there. So that's, you've been trying to like handle things that are a little bit more like in a logic sense, right? That's way more like mind-based, and looking for that clarity and just cutting through the bullshit, cutting through the noise, just like making tough, like rational decisions. And yeah, like this King of Swords, like it can be a little bit of a lonely energy. So yeah, you're gonna probably have realized that sometimes just leaning on your intellect won't really soothe your heart and your emotional life here. But still, it's necessary, but it's also necessary to mix in that with your intuition and with your soul as well. And yeah, King of Wands, near future. So this is you stepping back into your fire. Like this is your element, like I said, it's a very Aries card. Very Aries card is one. So it's confidence, right? It's having lots of visions, it's leadership, it's like reclaiming your power, just like moving forward with a sense of purpose here. So it's the shift from feeling trapped, right, here with the devil, and just taking command of your story here. And suggested approach, so Two of Wands, that's just like you making a plan and looking ahead. But just don't rush that, you know, because this card is about, yeah, it's taking those first steps and like envisioning your future and sort of like holding the map in your hands and realizing that you get to choose your direction and explore your options here. So just, yeah, but just don't rush that, and just let yourself dream bigger than what you've known. But there's no rush with this card. It's like right at the genesis of that. And yeah, so then we have the Hangman here in your surrounding energy. So things might be feeling a little bit paused for you right now, a little bit suspended. And it's all about perspective here, rather than being a punishment. So Spirit is just telling you to see your situation differently with this one, and just like loosening your grip on control, and trust that this, like this necessary pause here, is part of that plan. I was giving the example before that I usually get tired. Normally when the Hangman comes out, I get tired too, because it's just like Spirit's way of telling me that you're supposed to be resting right now. Or also with the Hermit and the Four of Swords. But with the Hangman, like, yeah, definitely, I'm not getting that. I'm getting the fizziness, but I'm getting that it's maybe a little bit less about resting and just isolating yourself, and more about just avoiding this perspective here that is putting you in this situation, and like kind of rethinking this and coming out of this through looking at the situation with a different set of eyes, sort of, if you manage to do that. So that's the advice for you there. Yeah, and then hopes and fears, you have Judgment. So Yeah, like you're craving this very big awakening moment here, which is like a sense of just calling, right? And renewal. And with the fear position, I see it as a fear of being seen clearly and owning your truth, you know? So you want to do that and you want to have that experience, but at the same time, yeah, you're like scared of just stepping fully into a newer version of yourself there. And your potential future, the Queen of Pentacles. So that's all about stability. It's like a nurturing, self-sufficient energy. So this Queen is you creating a life that feels more grounded and more abundant and safe and just where you're capable, right? And you're caring for yourself and for the people around you here. And bottom of the deck, 8 of Cups. So underneath everything here, this week is all about walking away, right? From what doesn't serve you, even if it's very familiar and even if it once brought you some comfort, just, nah, don't do that anymore. Just leave that, because leaving that is going to be what opens the door to the world here. And yeah, also to this energy here, the Queen of Pentacles that's waiting for you with this abundance here. So tying it all together, yeah, this week is going to be about you facing a turning point with the devil, with the world. And yeah, it's time to break free from what's been keeping you small and just honoring a cycle that's closing off naturally here. And I know your fear is being pretty loud, but the Page of Cups here is reminding you that your heart is still open, and you've done the work, you've sharpened your discernment, and now you're ready to step into more confidence, and just envision your next adventure. And yeah, take this little pause here to go within, to go for new answers, to go for new perspectives, and know that this future here is building up, and it's a future that's going to be made stronger by the courage that it takes to walk away from this and just trusting yourself. And that's all I have for you today, Aries. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading and if it resonated with you, please make sure to leave it a like and let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for your weekly energy forecasts. Okay, bye!